I've probably watched no less than 500 white belt matches, and in each and every single match, they get stuck in close guard, either on bottom or on top, because both people have no idea what to do. We're going to solve the problem of being on bottom in close guard so that you have a reliable system of movements, both at the upper body and the lower body, to force them into action, which will give you a much better submission opportunity and a pathway forwards so that you don't get stuck every single match.
Let's begin. We're going to go through something a little bit different, and Jake and I actually, well, I can't say Jake and I taught this. Jake was involved in me teaching this in my instructional that's coming out. We're talking about the dynamics between upper body and lower body attacks and sort of pulling those two things together to get better success. And one of the biggest things I see from beginners, especially when they're competing, is they get into a close guard situation and the person on top has no idea that they're meant to be standing up and getting out of this. So they just sit here and hunker down and do dumb shit like take body locks or try and reach for guillotines. And it's just an absolute mess. And the guy on bottom has no idea about this thing that I'm about to teach you. So they like pull on the head or they like try and grab an arm, but they're only doing one-on-ones. And essentially the guy on top doesn't know how to get out. The guy on bottom doesn't know how to attack. And it's just fucking awful to watch. I've watched about 30 hours of this now, so feel sad for me later. But anyway, what we're going to start to do is start to link these systems of attack, upper and lower, so that we can have a better chance of success getting into things like sweeps and getting into things like attacks from this close guard situation. You guys might not know some of this, so it's going to be useful. So what we're going to try and do is we're not going to immediately reach for a scoop because we're going to go into a K-guard series and other triangles and all that sort of thing. Because if I do, I start to come down here, Spew's just going to thumb post, or he's going to start, yeah, exactly right, he's just going to move his body away. Notice what happens when he does that, right? If I go for a scoop and Spew just does exactly what he thinks he wants to do, he has to post on me and he has to take his leg away. What gets left behind? Immediately you can start to take grips on his arm in a 2-on-1 fashion. You don't ever want to go 1-on-1 because then he can strip it. He takes his arm away and now his arm and leg are away and I'm reaching here with nothing. Essentially, this is a really good thing. I was talking about this yesterday. You want to endeavor to never reset to a neutral position. What do I mean by that? So if I go here and he thumb posts away, takes his leg away, and then I miss his hand, we're now in a neutral position that I have to reset. I want to layer bricks on top of each other every single step that I take. So instead of doing that, he thumb posts, I immediately grab his wrist and I take an advantage so I'm not in a neutral position. Now I upgrade my grips. Now he's got to deal with this whilst I'm actually moving into my next attack. He's not just getting off free of charge. So hopefully that makes sense. Once we gain access to our 2-on-1, I can start to pass his arm out of the way and now I can attack his upper body, or what you'll notice is that he doesn't have an ability to stop me going back into the lower body. So now I've got a bit of a chain going on here where I've got two things I'm thinking about. How do I get his arms out of the way to attach to his lower body, or how do I feint the lower body to get his arms to me so that I can then attack his upper body at the same time? So what we're going to start with, very simple, very easy. We're going to do it for a couple of minutes. I'm going to reach down for Spewy's leg, either side. We're going to do both sides, and he's going to thumb post and take his leg away. Without him taking his hand off your shoulder, you're going to make a grip with your other hand, and you're immediately going to go into a 2-on-1. To pull him out of the hole, you don't just use your arms, you actually use a knee pull at the same time. And this is consistent with our theme of using both our upper body and our lower body. What you'll see sometimes is people are just trying to strain and squeeze and they're trying to pull them out of the hole with their hips, which are quite strong. And this is quite weak of a motion for me, like doing this. It's actually quite weak. So if I can join my upper body and my lower body at the same time by using knee pulls, now I can start to upgrade my connection to him and then start to attack him properly. Then we're going to go on the other side. I start to reach down, he thumb posts away, I take a wrist grip, I go 2-on-1. Now I can start to guide him across the body and go back into his legs, or I can start to get his upper body and attach to his upper body. So let's give that a go through a couple of reps each, 4 or 5 each on each side, and then we'll go into some actual attacks. All right, so now we've got that sequence down pat. We're using lower body attacks or lower body attachment to start to get to upper body attachment. Once we get to this position, what I want you guys to do is start to knee pull and guide their hand across the other side of your body. And you're going to keep this wrist control so that he cannot pull this elbow back across his body and readdress you. Reason being is if his hand stays in this position and I try to go to one of these sweeps, I try to go this direction and take him over that side, he's going to use his upper body to stop me, right? And so if I go this direction, block me, yep, you're a fucking genius, Spewy. And I knee pull and I take him over this side, it should be fairly easy to understand that I'm going to take him over this direction because that's where he has no base. I wouldn't take him this direction because I'm actually giving him 2 frames over here. Not that this would be quite robust, but this would definitely stop me from taking him that way. If I try and take him over this way, exactly, he just posts his hand. So the way that we maintain this connection is either by staying onto this wrist or getting our chest behind his elbow, sort of where your sternum will meet the side of his shoulder. And so if he tries to bring his elbow back, it's actually quite difficult. I don't have to put too much tension into him. I just cup his far lat and then pull my elbow down into my rib. Fuck, you have no lats. Pull my elbow down. Don't flex. Don't. Pull your elbow down into the lat, into your own lat via his lat. If that was a bit of a word soup, sorry. Then we're going to start to reach down to his lower body and connect ourselves perpendicularly to his torso here. Again, if he tries to pull his elbow back, it's going to be extremely difficult. My body's now in the way. And now you've got a couple of different options. You can start to use flower sweeps or pendulum sweeps. We're going to look at pendulum first. It's usually the easiest for people to understand. So we're going to start to pull our knee up towards our elbow as I scoot myself completely perpendicular underneath him to this position. You can see now that he's got no post on this far side and his near side knee is weightless, and all I have to do is start to pendulum my leg and start to pull him into top position. Let's see if you can do this. Scoot, turn me 180, turn me 180. Thank you, Spewy. All right, so we're basically lined up at this point. I'm trying to keep his elbow pinned to his chest. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to pendulum my body up and around enough so that I can drive my right leg, this one, right heel, down towards the floor. And now I'm in a great position to take top position. Obviously, you guys can figure out if we can get underneath this near side elbow, we can go into all of our tacks. We can start to go into ankle triangles, so on and so forth. I'll leave that up to you. But I want you to feint the leg, gain access to his upper body because you're going for his lower body and he stops you. Pull him across, knee pull him, and then go into the pendulum sweep. Let's give that a go. So the difference between what we're going to go into now and what we just did, pendulum versus flower sweep, is that we're actually going to perform the action of a knee lever on this side, but without our legs being around one of his legs for a half guard situation. So we're going to start to take this scoop. I'm going to put my left foot, find the outside of his knee, and then I'm going to start to take him over, blocking his knee, just like I spoke about in a knee lever action. And then I'm going to use my right leg to come up all the way up and over the top. Now, if we're going to link these together properly in terms of attacking, if I can do a good job of keeping my chest in the way of his arm, I can start to immediately feed this into single chest wraps, and then I can go into my mounted series straight away. Like I spoke about at the start of the lesson, I would hate for you guys to keep going back into neutral territory. So if I sweep him and I pull my chest up for some stupid reason, and now I have to fight for underhooks, I'm not in as dominant of a position as I was if I just maintained focus on a couple of little extra details. And I want you guys to start thinking about that. Like, where is my move currently taking me? And how is that going to be good for him, or good for me and bad for him? It's really worthwhile to think about. So start to go underneath. It doesn't work. I get 2-on-1, I knee pull. I take him across the body. I start to secure his arms staying across the body so I can free up my right hand. I take my scoop, I put my left foot outside of his knee. Shouldn't be hard to find. If you struggle, go towards his leg and then go down. Don't just lazily put it out here. Find a part of his body, find the knee, take him over. Keep your chest pinning the entire time so you can start to cross, feed, and then you've got your mount attacks or your back takes, whichever you want to go into, but make sure this stays across his body. His elbows across his center line is very bad for him. It's very good for me. We worked hard to gain it. Let's maintain it. Let's give that a go. And for whatever reason, you don't follow this cue correctly and he starts to rip up and go back out. You'll start to realize that his lower body gets left behind because he's focused on getting his torso as far away from you as possible. Now, there's a couple of different things I look at when I want to choose my attack from here. I'm either going to go into opposite triangle territory or I'm going to go into K-guard territory. If he's postured up like this, it's fair to say that me reaching for this is not going to work. So I'm not going to go into the upper body. Now, I can entice him to bring his upper body forwards by getting him to sprawl this back by starting to link my hands together. And that's how you're going to get them out of the hole, basically. If I go to this and his torso is already down, no problem. I just start to take my my collar tie grip here to crush his posture, and then I can start to go in towards my, what is it, Huntai? Yeah, that's right. Jake knows all the triangle names. He's a Japanese nerd. What's the one, Gyaku?
Yeah.
What is that again?
It's like the reverse triangle. It's the one you do.
Oh yeah, from underneath when the Yoko fails. Yeah. Fuck. All right, we're on. We're on. So if his head's down, you're going to go triangle. If his head's up, you're going to go K-guard backside 50-50. Okay, easy cue to remember. If his head's down, I'm going to start to pull into this position that we're calling body X. I'm kind of X'd around his body here. It's easy to remember. And I'm going to start to point my left knee up towards his top shoulder. Once I get into this position, it's actually absolutely essential that I kick my leg free from his arm that's over the top of my leg, because if I don't have one arm in and one arm out, and that's pretty bad for triangles. One of the basic beginner cues they always teach you at white belt: 2 arms in, 2 arms out at all times, and you're not going to get armbarred or triangled. So I'm going to start to pull myself up underneath him so that my back lays flat on the mat. I'm going to start to pull his head down as I kick my leg free. And once I've achieved this, I need to pivot my hips almost like an inversion. I'm going to use this hand to start to climb my way up and around so that I can get my foot into his armpit here. You want to make sure that it's actually right up where the shoulder meets the invisible lat here, not halfway down his back, because all you're going to do in this position is start to put a bunch of tension through his ribs. It's not nice for your training partner. It's also not going to finish them. So when we do this transition, go back. I want you guys to focus pretty heavily on doing it all in one motion. So you come around the corner, you start to kick this free. As you start to bring your hips up and around the corner, if you have to hand assist, kind of hard to do it slow motion, but if you have to hand assist like I'm doing with my left hand, please feel free to do so. Lock your legs up, and then you're going to adduct your knees together for an extremely tight finish. So, reach down, he blocks me, 2 on 1. Knee pull, I go to sweep him, he takes his leg away. I go back into the lower body. He pulls his head forwards, no problem. I can start to come up for my opposite triangle and then immediately go into my finish. We'll look at what happens if he takes his head away for a K-guard series after this, but give that a go. And he starts to recognize that we've hit him with a triangle a couple of times, so we can't reach up for the upper body. We're immediately going to go start back into attacking the legs. I'm going to start to extract my knee down towards the floor so I can get into this body X position yet again. I'm going to start to link my hands together. And if you're finding it really difficult to pull him out of the hole because he just wants to push his torso as far away from you as possible, give him a little shove in that direction with your body X, and then he's going to be forced to come back into you. And so you can start to pull his knee up to your chest. You can go gable grip, you can go wrist to wrist, you can go 10 finger, whatever you like, doesn't really matter. As long as you pin his knee towards your chest. Now when he tries to run away from here, I've got an extremely good connection to his body. And when he tries to run away, the problem is that the back of his knee starts to get exposed, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to take my hand down towards the base of his Achilles here, towards his heel. I'm going to lock up like a pseudo rear naked choke grip as I start to undo the good connection of my legs. Because for a moment here, as I start to bring this foot up and around the corner, he's got an ability to start to kick away and run away. And this grip actually does a really good job at making sure that you're connected to him. Do you want to spin us, Spewy? Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. So when we're in this body X position and we've got our knee collapsed to the chest, sometimes he'll start to run away. We're going to start to grip up with this pseudo rear naked choke grip, and then I'm going to start to kick my foot inside the back of his hamstring here. Now, if he does nothing from this position, it's actually preferential to start to extract your bottom leg as well, and then start to go in what we call double 50. So now then when he tries to backstep, I can actually prevent him from doing so to a fair degree. He will be able to take me over, but by the time he takes me over, I can start to pass the heel, expose along the way because this leg can't move, and now I'm in an extremely good braking position. If that happens too fast for you and he starts to backstep before you can extract your bottom leg, no problem. We keep good tension into his stomach with our foot pressed into it sideways so I can kick him away. Reason being, he can't come up and start to fight my hands. If I don't have this foot here, I'm in a regular 50-50, exactly. He can start to use his hands to fight me. If I do have this foot here and he tries to do the same thing, it's extremely difficult. Now I can start to throw my secondary leg in. We go into an X-legs position. I let the foot drop into my armpit, and then I can start to come up taking climber's grips to put the knee towards the ceiling, and then heel hook him. So we get into this situation, he starts to posture up and away, exactly right. I go back into my body X with my K-guard. If he's too deep into the hole, give him a little shove backwards, he'll come into you, no problem. Pin the knee towards your chest, Start to throw your knee into the back while you grab the heel and your hand goes into your bicep grip here. If you can extract your leg, by all means, do so. If he starts to backstep before that happens, no problem. Kick his chest away or the stomach, so just kick his stomach away. Tries to come up and fight the hands, it won't be able to. Then you're going to throw your secondary leg into what we call X-legs position. You're going to let the foot drop as you take a climber's grip in the knee, so it prevents his knee from turning that way. Then you can start to come up on your elbow, take the dig, and then start to internally rotate your hip for a nice little tap. Let's give that a go, then we'll wrestle.